Radio Adesiema. Woods ye Japoma Radio Adesiema. Woods ye Japoma Radio Adesiema.
Titi wobika Japoma Radio mo yasoronko.
Out of the transmitter, through the air, into your radio. Nothing but net.
Is the midday news live on Japoma Radio GH. Follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, Japoma Radio GH, Instagram, Japoma Radio GH, YouTube, King of Kings Media. Download the app on the Google Play Store on your phone. Coming up, no amount of money from BOT will compromise minority MPs. Ablakwa. So now 2022, President Akufo-Addo urged Ghanaians to join Green Ghana Day on June 10th. Driver jailed 20 years for impregnating his 16-year-old daughter. I am Josephine Nate. Details shortly. Welcome back. The news in details. Member of Parliament for North Tongu, Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa, has dismissed reports that the minority walkout was a compromise to aid the majority to pass the e-levy bill. In an interview, Mr. Ablakwa's New Patriotic Party would not dare to make an offer to the minority side, adding that no amount of money will serve as an endorsement for them to back down on their stance against e-levy. He urged people to stop peddling falsehood. The minority MPs had agreed on deal with the majority. So far as we have been awarded the first stage of the military housing project, Dubeb, the barracks regeneration project at all garrisons across the country. The project seeks to address the accommodation problems facing the military in the country. President Nana performed their duties. We are building a modernized armed force with higher personnel that will be fit to meet the demands of the 21st century, he said. The president indicated that each of the armed force branches, being the Army, Navy, and Air Force, had received significant financial assistance to urge its logistical bases and strengthen its capabilities and its warfare equipment dressing, he said. Massive support for the Green Ghana Day project, which is to plant trees, and many people turn out to join the exercise to plant trees. Kwabena Minta Akando, ranking member on Parliament Health Committee, he stated that the Akufo-Addo-led government is deceiving Ghanaians with this much talk about Agenda 111 initiative. Welcome back from that short break. Now on to some local news. An Accra Circuit Court has sentenced a taxi driver, Francis Finn Akins, to 20 years imprisonment for having sex with his own daughter. Finn told the police that he started having sex with his 16-year-old daughter in June 2021 after divorcing his wife, victim's mother. The victim became pregnant and gave birth prematurely. The baby, however, did not survive. charged with insane, Finn pleaded not guilty and was admitted to bail. However, when the matter was called on Tuesday, March 29, 2022, Finn charged his plea to guilt, and the court convicted and sentenced him accordingly on his own plea. Anointing Prayer and Evangelistic Ministry in Tema has asked Christians to embrace hard work to improve their socio-economic circumstances. In a sermon, Apostle Prophet Dr. Owusu encouraged the populace to work hard and have faith, believing that everything will work out for good. Fold up their sleeves and put their shoulders on the wheel. According to Apostle Prophet Dr. Owusu, Christians could only increase in grace and goodness if they continually strive for attainable goods whilst believing God for divine assistance in all their endeavors. The General Overseer asked the populace, especially Christians, to have collaboration at the center and Busumakrum community. The gesture formed part of development project embarked by the Poasin New Takrady Development Association, Labored Living World, and the Female Planning Office, one filled oxygen cylinder and floor meter. Dr. Jennifer Tete, who received the item on behalf of management and the center, expressed gratitude to the Poasin New Takrady Development partners in the diaspora for their support to raise standard of the health facility. We'll take a break. When we come back, break now to some business news. The Ghana Revenue Authority has been tasked by the government to raise revenue of 80 points. Of the Customs Division of the JRA, Esther Amakuchi, has expressed confidence that her outfit will help the government attain its mark, leveraging the integrated customs management system. Speaking on a show, she said the reliance on digital technology. Libya on Tuesday evening, joining 843 others awaiting resettlement. This is the 8th flight to Rwanda and the first this year since the emergency transit mechanism began in September 2019. Most asylum seekers are from Eritrea, Sudan, South Sudan, Somalia. Some had been living in the Libyan capital, Tripoli, while others had been attributably held in detention, some for several months. The 100 evacuees will join 269 Gosran, Bugisra as they await settlement to third countries, return to countries of origin, or residence in Rwanda, among other options. When we come back, is the entertainment news. Madekuku hitmaker extolled natural resources. Talking on a show, Exdo said most of the current leaders have blocked heads and ought to be given serious strokes of canes. We have gold, we have timber, we have bauxite, aluminium, cocoa, and yet we are suffering in this country. This means our leaders are blockheads. We ought to line up all our leaders and give them some serious strokes of canes. That is all our past leaders, with the exception of Kwame Nkrumah. And that will be the end of the midday news. But